Welcome to day 11 of 31 Halloween movie reviews, filmmakers that don't usually make horror movies edition. How about that stuff on my lip? Today we are yet again looking at the works of Steven Spielberg, and we'll be looking at Monster House. And the movie's actual director was Gil Kenan, for which this film was actually his directorial debut. He would go on to direct the 2015 Poltergeist and Ghostbusters Frozen Empire. However, this film is not usually known for being associated with Steven Spielberg or Kenan, but rather Robert Zemeckis, because this was made by his former animation studio, Image Movers Digital, which was infamous for making a bunch of creepy-looking motion capture animated films, such as The Polar Express, A Christmas Carol, Beowulf, and the film that killed the studio, Mars Needs Moms. And this was one of the studio's only two films that wasn't directed by Zemeckis himself, the other being Mars Needs Moms. Now, a lot of people have criticized the mocap films from Zemeckis in particular for looking really freaking creepy when it has no right to be. And yes, the animation in this movie is definitely disturbing and unnatural, but I think that kind of works for this film in particular. For one thing, the character designs are not trying to be realistic, so you're not looking at dead-eyed Polar Express expressions. And the weird, uncanny movements ultimately adds to the horror of the film. Now, I doubt this was really intentional on the filmmakers, but I think that makes the experience watching the movie ultimately more palatable. On top of that, the movie is just an all-around pretty fun Halloween movie for kids, even though it was released as a summer blockbuster, but still. I mean, it's not the best family-friendly Halloween film out there. It's no Coraline, Nightmare Before Christmas, or even A Corpse Bride, but it still has its charm, and it's still a perfectly fine film to show your kids around this time of year. Now, I wouldn't say that it's best animated feature-worthy, but then again, it was a pretty lackluster year for animated films because it was up against Cars and Happy Feet. Interesting side note, the Academy has since made a rule that motion capture films cannot be eligible for Best Animated Feature, because in order for a movie to be qualified for Best Animated Feature, at least 65% of it has to be animated. This is how Marcel the Shell with Shoes On was able to get a nomination back in 2023, despite the film featuring a significant amount of live action. And the reason they made this motion capture rule in the first place was in order to prevent movies such as Avatar from getting nominated, due to its pure amount of motion capture animation, but nobody would really call that movie an animated film. And it wasn't just motion capture that was ineligible. Rotoscope animation was also forbidden for being nominated. To the Academy, it's just too close to live action.